Hello everyone, and welcome to our review of the Walther P99AS. This pistol review is going to be slightly different in that we're going to be looking at the various versions, generations, incarnations of the P99, their differences and their similarities. We're only going to be covering the anti-stress or AS trigger system. Walther made other trigger systems for the P99, but they are no longer in manufacture. Now, taking a quick peek at what we have, on the upper left we have a Walther P99 titanium coated. It's a generation 1/2 model. To the immediate right of that is a P99AS that is offered today. At the bottom is the P99C or compact version of the Walther P99. And the bottom right is the Magnum Research MR9 Eagle, which is a combination gun manufactured by Walther Arms and Magnum Research in Pillager, Minnesota. We'll look at each one of these guns close up, but first let's discuss the P99AS trigger system. The P99 with the anti-stress trigger mechanism. The principle of the anti-stress trigger mechanism makes the P99 one of the safest guns in the world. The objective is to prevent unintentional firing by reflex in situations of extreme stress. The decisive innovation is that the trigger travel before the first shot has been increased, not only in the double action firing position, but in also the single action firing position 1. The trigger travel of 14 millimeters before the first shot is fired makes unintentional firing virtually impossible. The P99 trigger mechanism also has a short trigger travel in the single action mode for rapid bursts of fire. This leads to excellent control of the pistol if several shots are fired in rapid succession. So now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, let's see this AS trigger system in action. We're going to go ahead and look at it on the P99C, because most people will probably be carrying this particular firearm as their concealed carry weapon. But it's important to note that this anti-stress trigger system is the same for the full-size as well as the compact. And the forces and travel are exactly the same. Let's go ahead and look at the DA, or double action 14 millimeter trigger pull that we just discussed, that's noted in Walther's literature. Once. And I want to show it one more time. It's about 40 newtons or 8.5 pound trigger pull, and it fires quite easily. It's also nice to note that you have a double strike capability with the AS trigger system. Now let's look at the long SA pull. If you wanted to put this gun in single action mode and still keep the long trigger pull, all you have to do is cock the trigger the following way. Rack the slide back about 1/4 inch, and you're now in single action mode. Takes about 20 newtons or 4.5 pounds to pull the trigger, but in this particular mode you'll notice we're still at 14 millimeters. I also like to consider this a rifle match trigger. It's like a 2-stage trigger. I'll go ahead and pull it straight through right now. But if you heard that click, you can actually stage this trigger. 14 millimeters, you can put it right to here and just hold on to it and do nothing. And then go ahead and take the 4.5 pounds and pull. When the gun fires, please watch the reset. Very short, and it's in the very short action SA or single action mode. Once again, about 4.5 pounds. Boom. The really neat thing about the P99 that I also like is this. When I go ahead and stage this trigger like I just did, if I decide I don't want to have it staged, all I do is push this button up here. It's the decocking button. It decocks it, puts it back into the double action long mode. It also allows me to do the following. When you need to clean the gun, strip it, you of course drop the magazine, hit the decocking button, pull the lever that you see. There's a lever on each side, and you can go ahead and field strip the gun and clean it. So that's the AS trigger system. Now let's go ahead and look at the various versions of the P99 itself. Now that we've seen and discussed the AS trigger system, that is the same trigger system for all of the pistols we're reviewing today, let us go ahead and look at the various versions or generations of the P99. This is one of the very first Gen 1s, or version 1, of the P99. The differences that we're going to notice as we get in the later generations are the following. First of all, they all have the same backstrap. They all have a changeable backstrap, so that's not the different part. The different part that we notice first is this has a ski hump, the shorter magazine release. If you notice, the front of the trigger guard is swept back a little bit, as is the front of the slide. Also, Walther put a proprietary rail system right here on the front of the pistol. It would only take Walther flashlights, Walther lasers. They have since changed that to a more uniform or universal system with a Picatinny rail, so you can go ahead and put lasers and lights from almost any manufacturer. Let us now look at some of the other later generations. What we're looking at right now is the latest version of the Walther P99 with the AS trigger. The difference between this version and the version that we saw right before this, the version 1, Gen 1, or even the Gen 2s, is that it has the longer magazine paddle release, much longer than the Gen 1. The other difference is the ski hump has been removed here. The trigger guard is a little more rounded instead of being swept, and the front is completely squared off. It also has a Picatinny slot, so you can put your lasers, your lights, your microwave oven, whatever you want to put on the front of this pistol, as long as it fits a Picatinny rail now. It has the same AS trigger system that we've noticed on every other generation that we've been looking at. What we're looking at right now is the compact version of the P99, the P99C. Just an interesting note, what Walther considers a full-size P99, most gun manufacturers consider a compact model. The P99C would be considered a subcompact. However, with Walther, they have a little different viewpoint of the world. The following things, though, you'll notice are exactly the same as the full-size P99. It has the longer paddle release. This, of course, is a little more rounded, not by much, and it has the single Picatinny rail, as you can see right there, so you can put anything you want on it, light, laser, microwave, whatever you feel would be appropriate. The version of the P99 we're looking at right now is a result of a collaboration, of course, between Magnum Research of Pillager, Minnesota, and Walther Arms of Germany. I like to think of it as either the Frankengun or the love child of these two companies. Magnum Research produces the slide and barrel here in the United States. The frame is made by Walther in Germany. The difference that you notice right away is the slide is stainless steel, and there's no cutout in this area that's contained in the P99 of today and even of yesteryear. The other differences are actually in the frame. If you look at the frame carefully, you'll notice that the trigger guard right up in here bears a striking resemblance to the PPQ. In fact, it's almost identical. The other difference is that they've gone ahead and kept the shorter magazine paddle release that's in the Gen 1, Gen 2 series of the P99. The backstrap has a different kind of patterning, which we'll talk about later, but it also has the same thing as the other P99s, changeable backstraps. One other thing to note here about the Magnum Research MR9. If you are considering buying a P99 and price point is a big factor, the MR9 Eagle is an excellent choice. Its price point is approximately that of the Canik series TP9, which is getting quite a lot of buzz and press right now. However, with the MR9 Eagle, you get all the reliability of the P99 and the accuracy of the P99 at a lower price point. So if price point is a consideration for you, this would be a version of the P99 you might want to consider. For me, the measure of a pistol is not the number of accessories that you can put on it, but how many accessories are needed to make it a functional pistol for yourself, rather than out of the box being practically perfect. Now the P99 has various sight combinations that you can go ahead and add to it for your own personal preference. Let me show you this one. Here's a P99, the Gen 1. It happens to have Meprolite front and rear sights. The P99 Compact, for instance, it has a True Glow rear and a Meprolite front. Sort of a nice combination there. The MR9 happens to have True Glows on the front and the rear. As far as the P99 Gen 3 that we were showing you, it has a Meprolite front night sight, and it has the European style bucket sight at the rear. These are just some of the sight combinations that are available for the Walther P99. Now let's look at the back strap. Of course, the Walther P99 was one of the first firearms to offer changeable back straps, and that is really a neat little feature that you can use to customize your gun to fit your hand. However, there's one extra feature that most people don't talk about very much. Right here, this is the Walther, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this back strap. You'll notice that it has tiny little raised dots, and many people have said that the P99 grip feels a little bit too smooth in their hand, and they put grip tape, etc. on it. However, because the Walther P99 and the MR9 share similar frames and the same back straps, you can do the following. For instance, on this MR9 back strap here, it was put on my Gen 1 P99, and you can see it's got a more aggressive, tiny little rectangle texture. For me, that was a really great upgrade. I also went ahead, as you can see, it's also here on the, obviously, the MR9 itself, and I upgraded my lovely P99 Gen 3 to the same kind of back strap. Now, one little quick thing. If you decide to do a brand new P99 and use the MR9 back strap, and I really have to say it's a really nice back strap. It gives you a lot more feel of grip, and it just makes the gun feel a little more solid. You will have to go ahead, and there's some material you'll need to remove right in here. It's not a big deal. The Gen 3 just has a little bit different part on the frame that sticks out. It's a round area that helps this fit in a little bit better, possibly. I don't know. But I was able to take the MR9 in about 5 minutes. That MR9 backstrap fit just perfectly. As far as holsters go, I will just show you one that I use, but I will let you know of all the various ones that you can go ahead and buy for the P99. As far as holsters for the P99, there are a ton of holster makers now that make holsters for both the P99 and PPQ. Usually those are interchangeable. If you want leather, Galco, DeSantis are two that just come to mind. Alienware makes a very fine Kydex holster in the waistband for the P99. Galco makes the Miami Classic if you like that kind of shoulder holster. My own personal favorite is the one that you're seeing on screen right now. It's called the SMZ. It's made by Mr. Ken Null. I believe he's back in Georgia still. Somebody asked me if I was going to do anything about field stripping this particular pistol on this video. No, because this pistol just is decock it, drop the magazine, pull the two tabs down, and it comes apart quite easily. And there's other videos on YouTube that do show you how to do it. I hope you've enjoyed our video. Please leave us a like. Any extra comments you can add to the history of the P99 and be very nice. And have a great day. Make sure if you're out shooting, follow all the safety rules. Treat all your guns as loaded. Don't put your finger on the trigger till you're ready to fire. Make sure you know what's behind your target. These might seem like common sense rules, but as the man once said, common sense is not always so common. Have a great day. We'll see you for our next video.